Alright, guys. So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be reacting to a few videos by Mr. Dan Vasc. These are random videos that I found. I have not watched any of these videos. I think there's a total of 4 videos. Haven't watched any of them. But I will tell you that I'm excited. This first one is called I Owe You an Explanation. Knowing Mr. Dan Vasc, he isn't going to give us any sort of explanation as to what you might think he might owe us an explanation about. Especially if he's got haters, and most people on YouTube do have haters. It's just the way it is. But I like this guy. He's funny. He's clever. The sayings that he comes up with are just amazing. I don't remember there was 2 sayings in particular that he had kind of coined, had them on t-shirts, like don't be a wimp was one of them, I believe. And then shut up and do something, I believe, was the other one. He's great. He's absolutely great. Hi there, Karen. Hope you're having a good night or day or wherever you are in the world. It is nighttime here. But hello. It's good to see you. And yeah, so here we go. And also, I do want to just kind of give a, shout out. I know I have been MIA the last few days. I'm going to be posting some more videos here. I've had some personal stuff I've had to take care of. And I'm okay. Promise I'm okay. Just have had some personal things that I've had to see to. And so with that being said, I'm excited to get into this video. He's got that serious look. That serious Dan Vasc look. Oh, you're in California. Okay. I was born in California. Whereabouts are you? I'm gonna start playing this, and then we'll engage. Guys, you throw a comment down in the chat, and if you guys want to share where you're tuning in from, that would be awesome. All right, here we go.
Q&A.
Oh, so is a Q&A.
It stands for questions and answers. So a lot of stuff happened in the past.
It took me about 5 seconds to catch on to what he actually said. He said Q&A. That stands for questions and answers. And it took me about 5 seconds to realize that he said that. It's nighttime here too. It's been a long day.
Couple of weeks. I went on a trip, had a couple of gigs around the country, plus a few business meetings in São Paulo. It was all very tiring. But then I got back, and then I was sick.
Oh no.
Then I got a little better, but then I went in my studio and my studio computer died.
Dang.
But then I bought an
Mr. Boy can't get a break, but he looks like he was about to say something awesome. And I know this video is like 3 years old, so bear with me.
Computer died. But then I bought an even better one, so now I can work on better and bigger projects faster. But I still need to wait for the computer to arrive. So that's why you haven't seen a video of me singing for a while, and that's why I'm doing this Q&A now. Plus the fact that we have a large number of new people here, so I think it would be cool for them to know a little bit more about me. So let's begin. First question. Dan, what country do you reside? I do reside in Brazil. Next question. Is there a deadline for submitting questions? Yes, and it ends now. Next question. When
Oh, this. Oh man, so I did know that he lived in Brazil, so that is one thing. It'd be really nice to be able to go to Brazil one day and just get to meet him, because I mean, who wouldn't want to meet him? He's pretty awesome. But that was funny. When's the submission for asking questions, or when's the deadline for asking questions? Now. It's now.
When did you decide that you wanted to be a singer, and who were your earliest influences? When I was 18 or 19, as soon as I left the army. And that happened as I was listening to an album called Jekyll and Hyde by a band called Petra. I listened to the title track, Jekyll and Hyde, and I was immediately, oh my god, I need to learn how to do this. And since then, I haven't stopped. Some of my earliest influences were Tobias Sammet from Avantasia, ZP from Dragon Force, Tony Kako from Sonata Arctica, and of course John Schlitt from Petra. Next question. Needless to say, guys, I have a...
What are your guys' favorite, like, musicians, bands? Because, I mean, Dan Vasc is pretty good, but, like, mainstream. Who's your mainstream fan? Wow, I can talk tonight. Who is your mainstream favorite artist? The one that gets played on the radio, all that kind of stuff. YouTube, totally different world. Dan rocks YouTube. Just saying. He rocks YouTube. I listen to a lot of worship music, like contemporary worship music, but I also listen to like Blink-182. I've listened to System of a Down. I've listened to Good Charlotte. I've listened to Simple Plan. I've even listened to Taylor Swift. I mean, didn't she just drop a double album? But I like a little bit of everything. Everything from like classical all the way to kind of like metal-y, alternative metal. But then everything from rap all the way down to soundtrack music. So I'm kind of a mutt with the kind of music that I like. Just is what it is. All right, let's get back into this. That's a funny expression.
Next question. Needless to say, guys, I have a lot of questions here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer them all, but I'll do my best. Next question is, what bands have you been listening to lately? I've been listening a lot to Manowar, Blind Guardian, Dragon Force, Sonata Arctica. Something new that I've been listening to lately is Beast in Black. What a genius idea to mix power metal.
I've never heard. I've heard of Petra, and I've heard of Manowar, but I've never heard of Eclectic. Yeah, there you go. I am a mutt though, where my ancestors have lived all over the world. I am a mutt in that regard. I'm like 7 or 8 different countries, but I think that classifies most of us. Yeah, so that's the right word I'm looking for. Eclectic. I'm an eclectic music lover. I love that. Thank you, Karen. You're awesome. Yeah, I've only heard of music from Petra, and I've seen a Manowar cover that Dan has done, but I haven't actually listened to Manowar by themselves. Those are some. I'm gonna write those down.
Genius idea to mix power metal with 80s music. This is fantastic. And as narcissistic as this sounds, I've been listening to a lot of my own stuff lately too. Next question. What other ways have you made money in your life besides what you're doing now? Well, in 2008, I enlisted into the Brazilian army. So my first job ever was being a soldier in the army. Then when I left the army, I went into college and had a bunch of quote-unquote normal office jobs while I was in college. Then I dropped it all and started to live solely from music, and I started to give singing lessons and also working as a session singer. But I didn't like any of that stuff. Thank God now I don't need to do any of that. I live solely from my business with this channel, my songs on Spotify and other platforms, and of course Patreon. Next question. What parts...
That's incredible. I love that. I love that he's gotten involved in serving his country. I'm not sure what the laws in Brazil are, but I know like laws in Israel is when someone turns 18, they either have to go to college or they have to join the military. Here in the States, it's kind of like unless there's a draft going on, you can choose to sign up. I mean, there's selective service that you have to basically enroll in here in the States. if you apply for financial assistance for college. If you're a guy, you automatically have to enroll for selective service. If you have some sort of, I call them life obstacles, I don't call them disabilities. If you have some sort of life obstacle, then you can, notate that, and it kind of takes you out of that pot for having to sign up for selective service. And selective service is basically like if there's a major war and they're short on military, they're going to draft people from this pot of people that have signed up for selective service. And so it's interesting how different countries do it. I know some countries they don't give you really much of a choice but to serve. But I think it's kind of cool. The way he worded it was that he joined the military. So I'm not sure if he did that as like his main option, or if he did that. I don't know. It's really awesome though. Serving your community and serving your country is actually really respectable. And for any veteran who is watching this, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your service. I remember I wanted to be in the Coast Guard when I was in high school, and I played water polo. I swam 6 days a week. Was never the strongest swimmer, but I loved it. It was a lot of fun, and I wanted to be in the Coast Guard, and I was down in Southern California, and it just never happened. Never happened for me. It wasn't in the cards. I think the age to join the Coast Guard here in the States, like the highest age is like 25 or 26. I'm way past that. But yeah, let's get back into this.
Of the US do you most want to visit? I'm not too much of a tourist person, but I would like very much to see New York and the Statue of Liberty because of all of what it means. I would also like to go to just a random small town in Texas, I don't know, and experience the real American way of life. They say that's how you experience the real America. It's by going to an actual small town. Next question.
I have to kind of agree with that. So I live in Oregon, and there's a lot of really small rinky-dink towns. It's very, there's a lot of rural areas here in Oregon, but then there's, the big population, the big cities like where I live next to. I live next to Portland, and Portland itself, the Portland metro area, it spans about 45 miles across, 45 miles north to south, and it looks kind of like a giant diamond. It's a pretty big area, and in that area, there's probably 1.5 million people that live in that 45 by 45 area. But then you have the rest of the state, and then you have Eugene and Salem. So between Portland, Salem, and Eugene, it makes up 2/3 of the state's population. The state's population is about 4 to 4.5 million people. That's it. And between those three major cities, down the artery of the 5 freeway, it ends up, that's 3 to 3.25 million people. And then the rest of the state, it's just small cities. You have some big cities like Bend and things like that, but nothing anywhere near the size of Portland, Eugene, and Salem. And it's, but I agree with him. You go to these small cities. In fact, my wife and I were just in a small city earlier today, and I went into, we went to this like old hole-in-the-wall barbecue place. And there's a bunch of high school kids working there and things like that, and it's a really small town, so you can tell this is like a place that everyone knows everybody. And that's the vibe that people get when they think of America, when they think of true, America. And that's like conservative America, right? That's not big city America. Big city America is New York. Big city America is LA. Big city, America is Hollywood. And along with those big city vibes comes the big city stigmas. Think about Hollywood. Hollywood's got a lot of money. New York, it's really expensive to live there. San Francisco, really expensive to live there. The more people are in one place, the more expensive it's going to be to live there. So, Cost of living in those areas is astronomical, and if my wife and I didn't do so much ministry in the area that we do, we would consider moving to somewhere rural just because it's beautiful. Oregon is full of green, and yeah, it's beautiful. And the thing is, like, the peace and quiet and getting away from big city life, and sometimes it's healthy to get away from big city life. Granted, I don't know if we would both want to, like, actually live out there in the middle of nowhere. We'd kind of miss people. But sometimes I think it's nice to get away from the big city life, if that makes sense. Get to experience a different part of America. And different walks of life. That's kind of what, loving people where they're at is. You experience the different walks of life. You experience their cultures. You experience what their life is really like, and meet them where they're at. I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Things you like most about where you live. I live in a medium-sized town, and I like the fact that it has everything I need, but it's not gigantic. The weather is good, not too hot on summer, not too cold on winter. And in the state that I live, Minas Gerais, there's a lot of hills, a lot of cool landscapes. I like that a lot. Next question. How many swords and or battle axes do you own? Only one sword. You guys must think I'm some sort of medieval lunatic or something. Walks around with...
Nah. He's just a ninja singer. He's got katanas and he's got battle axes.
Swords and battle axes and shields all the time. I wish. Next question. Where's the best place to talk to you to request a possible cover song for your consideration? Well, my YouTube comment section. And frankly, whatever way you have to contact me, I receive a lot of messages and a lot of comments in all of my social medias, especially after the Witcher cover thing, and I cannot physically respond to everybody. I used to do it back in the day, cannot possibly do it anymore. I could hire someone, pay $10 an hour for someone to say,
"Cool, have yourself an epic day."
But I'm not doing that, so if you heard back from me, you're hearing back from me.
Man. I'm just thinking back to what he said. He could pay someone $10 an hour. I'm not sure what the minimum wage is in Brazil, or even what the cost of living is in Brazil. I mean, here in the States, it's like, I mean, depending on where you are in the States, right? So, I mean, I remember looking at there was a skyscraper that they built in downtown Portland, and there was a 3-bedroom apartment. Not a house, not a condo, an apartment. Place where you physically go and you live there and you rent it, and when you leave, it belongs to the person who owns the building. An apartment. This thing was $5,400 for a 3-bedroom in a skyscraper where you have neighbors on both sides, neighbors up and down. $5,400 did not include water, sewer, garbage. Also did not include electricity, Wi-Fi, didn't include any of that. And I'm like, 3 bedrooms? Who the heck can afford that? That's, $5,400. It was incredible. Yeah, that's US dollars. And obviously that's like the high end of, the block, but I know that there's some 2 bedrooms going for roughly $2,500, so $2,400, $2,500. That's what the cost of living is for a 2-bedroom in this area that I live in. And it's insane. I remember back in 2013, one of those 2-bedroom apartments, I actually had lived in an apartment before I got married. I lived in an apartment with a couple roommates. And that same apartment complex, I remember back in 2013 looking to see the cost of living, and it was $600 for a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, I had came from California. In California, rent was like $1,500, $1,600 for a 2-bedroom apartment. So coming up to Oregon, it was a culture shock. Like, everything is so much cheaper. Boy, was I wrong. They took rent control off in like 2014, and rent control kept the rent low. And the next thing you know, rent doubles. So 2015 rolls around. Rent is now double, $1,200. And then they kept it off for the next 3 years. And then, you go figure 2018, 2019, they started to look at the idea of rent control again. Well, they decided, no, we're just going to leave it off. And then COVID hit in 2020. And then things started going up. They started passing all of these bonds and measures to build all these new apartment buildings. And all these new apartment buildings are being funded by the money that homeowners are paying in their property taxes. So what that means is now property taxes go up. So, property taxes almost doubled this last year because of all these bonds and measures. The money's got to come from somewhere, and the state doesn't have it. So it's just a never-ending cycle of just things going higher and higher and higher. And now that same apartment that I was talking about 10 years ago that was $600 is now $2,400. $2,400 for a 2-bedroom apartment. No upgrades, no modifications, no renovations, no nothing. No painting of the building, just inflation and them taking rent control off. It's just... and then you have, competing, minimum wage increases, and it's just... Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't even want to tell you how much we pay for our house. It's ridiculous. But outside of that, it'd be really awesome to find out what the cost of living in Brazil is. I know the cost of living in India, and I know the cost of living in Pakistan because we do ministry there. And it's significantly cheaper than it is here. Even in some other states, it's significantly cheaper. I know there's still some states where you can find a decent house for $50,000 to $100,000 easily, but not here in Oregon and not in California.
But I try to read everything, so just comment wherever and I'll probably read it. Next question. Why do you think symphonic rock groups haven't taken off in the US? That's a great question. I don't know.
If I answer this, I'm probably going to have a lot of people clicking the unsubscribe button. No, I'm just kidding. I think that the reason why is because it's not mainstream here. And you think about, like I was talking about, the majority of the population that lives in a place like Oregon. I'm going to take Oregon as an example. Because you take 2/3 of the population, and 2/3 of the population here are all very much, and I'm not going to say all, mostly super on this side of the aisle. And when I say that, I mean politically. It's... I don't like getting into political debates with people because all politics does is cause divide. It just causes people to fight. That's all it does. But the reality is, you got people who voted the same person who are fighting each other over here because of who they like to listen to. It literally happens. You got people over here on this side that are slashing each other's tires, and you got people over here on this side that are talking crap about each other to their neighbor in small towns. And it's like, dude, can you just stop and get along and just stop trying to be someone you're not? Just listen to what you want to listen to. And for me, I think that the music he listens to is kind of cool. Like I said earlier, there's music that I've heard and there's music that I haven't heard. I'm sure that I've heard some of the songs of those artists. I just probably haven't been able to put a name to it. I know that I've listened to a cover of Manowar, and the guitarist in that cover was actually the Manowar guitarist. I believe, I could be wrong, but people should just be themselves, like what they like. Like I said earlier, I'm such an eclectic music lover that it's hard for me to sit here and say I won't listen to Taylor Swift. It's hard for me to sit here and say that I won't listen to K-pop. It's hard for me to sit here and say that I won't listen to Japanese metal. Like, I like all of the music. The door is right behind me if someone doesn't like it. I'm just saying. Just be you. Like, there shouldn't be that big of an issue, especially when it comes to what you listen to.
No, the US is more of a place for more modern metal. Some stuff like Disturbed, new metal.
I wonder why. I wonder why it's a place for modern metal. It's because of the mainstream vibe. People want to fit in. Think about Hollywood. You got magazines that influence people to go on these crash diets that cause them to lose 50 pounds in a month, and they become very sick because they're not taking care of themselves. And then you got, it's just, you go down the list of negative influences in this country, and it's there. It's prevalent. That's why I'm saying, just be you. Like, if you want to lose weight, lose weight. But don't let anybody pressure you to lose weight. If you need to lose weight because of your health, I need to lose weight for my health. I know that, but ain't nothing gonna happen when somebody pressures me. There is nothing that's going to happen when someone pressures me, because I'm a free thinker. I'm thinking for myself. I don't need someone telling me that I need to lose weight. I'm aware of that. I'm the only one that has to carry my body around with me. Just saying. Same with music. I'm the only one that's listening to it in my earbuds. It doesn't matter, In
general, a traditional heavy metal and its subgenres like symphonic, power metal, it's more of an European thing. For some reason, I don't know why. You tell me if you're European or from the US. Down in the comments. Next question. Your voice has the capability of Freddie Mercury.
Oh.
Yikes. Where do you want this to go? First of all, that is an epic compliment. Thank you very much. Second of all, where do I want this to go? Well, I want a lot of things. I have many plans, many goals. The short answer would be, I want to make a lot of money. I want to be happy and make people around me very happy. Sorry for the vague answer, but it was a really vague question. Next question. What are your future plans in the music industry? Opening a recording studio, music venue, music school, touring, solely YouTube based? Or do you see yourself somewhere completely different in 10 years? Okay, that might answer a little bit of the previous question too. My future plans in the music industry. Well, I love YouTube and I don't plan on stopping. I love the capability it gives me to be independent, to not have to give a crap about record labels, about middlemen of any kind. It's me speaking directly to you. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever going to stop doing this. It's too powerful.
He knows how to make us feel very special. I'm just saying. He knows how to do it.
But yeah, opening a recording studio, I already have a recording studio. I record in it. Music venue, don't think so. Music school, don't think so. Touring, yes, I do plan on touring. I already do a little bit of touring, but it's more as a guest in other people's projects. I'm doing live gigs now.
From the sound of what Marge was saying, Dan first needs a visa, which takes a very long time in Brazil. When he does get his visa, he needs to come to Portland, Oregon. Just saying.
With Luis Mariucci and Ricardo Confessori, ex-members of Angra. It's a fantastic power metal band. But yeah, I do plan on touring with Fearless eventually, and maybe even as a solo artist. Now, as to how do I see myself in 10 years? Well, hopefully a lot richer. Hopefully a lot more successful. Hopefully with a lot of Fearless albums. If I would still be doing this here on YouTube, of course in a bigger scale, because things have to walk forward, I would be happy. I want to build a lot more of passive income sources, so I don't need to grind so much. I think that's it. Next question.
That's a very, very smart answer. You know, it's called diversifying your assets. If you have money in invested in different things that are generating money. Like I know that someone mentioned that he might have changed his mind about touring. Who knows? But if you don't diversify your assets, your businesses, you put all of your eggs in one basket. I know that he's got a second YouTube channel, and that would be considered diversifying his assets. He's not just leaning on the one, he's also got his gaming one that I'm also subscribed to. If you're not subscribed to it, you should go subscribe, just to show your support. But he's also got he's got his gaming one, and that one has a lot of subscribers as well. It may not be everyone's cup of tea. It's different, music and gaming. But that's the thing, is he's diversifying his assets. He's being smart about it. If someone goes and opens a coffee shop, they're not going to want to turn around and go open a boba shop that's going to be competing against it. Just open a coffee shop and then maybe go open some sort of retail space. You're in two completely different markets. Obviously, retail may not be the greatest thing because you got Amazon and all the online shopping now that you're competing with. And I see retail shops open and close in downtown by where I live quicker than, one day it's open, the next day it's closed. So it's just, diversifying your assets is important. Making smart business choices is also important. So I'm really proud of him for that. I think that that's incredible, and that he has the ability and the soapbox. I'm going to call it a soapbox. It's not a soapbox in a bad way. But he's got the soapbox to be able to stand on and say, hey, this is how you do it. Put some of your stuff over here, put some of your stuff over here. Diversify a little bit, Let's see. 3 videos last year that Dan released. Used to be 1 per week, yeah. He may not need to grind anymore. I was looking at his YouTube number, his subscriber number, and I saw last week that it was at 389,000, and today when I looked right before I started this live, it was like 994,000. So he grew 5,000 subscribers in a week. Just saying, and he's not releasing any other content. So he's doing something right. The merchandise, yeah. So he sells merchandise. Yep. Yeah, hi everybody. I see that there's quite a few folks on here. Go ahead and, engage in the chat. I think it's pretty awesome, especially when you guys actually know each other. And if you guys have been following me, this channel is definitely about loving people and being friendly to your neighbors. And sometimes you don't really know where someone's at. Maybe someone's having a really bad day. They signed on to YouTube and they came across this live, and you never know. Maybe you're the one having the bad day. If you are, I just want to tell you that you're loved. You're welcome here. No matter what the situation, you're loved. There's no way that you're ever going to scare me out of loving you guys. Just so you know. But yeah, so he sells merchandise. Yeah, I would love to be able to get that one shirt that everyone keeps saying is sold out. The oh my gosh. Don't be stupid, go do something, or something like that. I would love to get that shirt. For 13 years, he was very... Yeah. Yeah, he's an orca now. He's a killer whale. I love it. Oh, I love that. Okay, let's get back into this. And I was going to originally try to do, 4 of these videos, but I'm probably going to do a live reaction after this. So start giving me some thoughts as to what you guys want to see me react to live after this. The last time I did a Q&A, I did Roxana. So that was pretty good. It was a lot of fun. I have so much fun listening to this, man. All right, let's keep going.
Horses, so I don't need to grind so much. I think that's it. Next question. I'm not sure if they have The Voice where you live, but I think you should think about doing a show like The Voice. Yes, Brazil does have equivalent The Voices, but it doesn't interest me too much. Actually, it doesn't interest me at all. I don't have any interest on the Brazilian market per se. Next!
He's funny. He's like something that's already existing in 50 plus countries out there. I don't think so. So amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm finishing this up, and then I'm gonna take a look, and whichever one, I've actually already done music of the night. Whichever one has the most requests, I will do down in the comments. Not by the same person, so if you spam comment, that your only counts as one. Sorry. So I'm writing these down here. Okay.
Question. How old are you? I am 30 years old. Next question. If you choose to read for pure enjoyment, who are your favorite?
Now he's 33. The 3-year-old video.
Favorite authors? I don't read for pure enjoyment for a long time. Actually, I take that back. I read something for enjoyment recently. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
A few moments later.
Okay, he's 34. Do you guys know when his birthday is? Out of sheer curiosity. It'd be awesome if someone here had October 13th. Very cool. Our birthdays are very close to each other. Not the year, but the day. Little under a month off.
Few moments later.
It's this. That would be the Brazilian Portuguese version of The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck by John Rosa. Well, it's not really a book. It's a comic book of the size of a book. Uncle Scrooge was one of my favorite, if not the favorite Disney character as I was growing up. My dad used to buy.
I love that he's so passionate about whatever he wants to be passionate about. I love that about him. He's authentic. That's a word. I know Karen had mentioned that it wasn't mutt that I was meaning earlier. It was eclectic. He's authentic. Eclectic, authentic. Yeah, I don't think you're stalkers. I'm pretty sure he shared that at least once. And yeah, if I had to admit to some of the things that that I know that I shouldn't know, people would probably think that I'm a stalker, but I'm really not. I'm just really good at finding information that I don't want to know. Usually someone tells me and I'm like, I don't want to know this. I don't want to know this. I love this though. I have there's a woman who goes to the church, and she also sings on the worship team, and she has this Bible, this picture Bible, and every time I see her, she's reading her Bible, but it's like a comic book Bible, and it is the coolest thing. I'm just like, man, they literally took scripture and brought it to life in these things. And I was kind of reading over her shoulder one day, and it's like it works for her, and sometimes it's really, really hard to see super tiny print, and she needs to see things in picture form, and so she has a Bible that has pictures, and I just think it's incredible, Yeah, it's amazing. Does anyone know what? He had a court case? What was the court case for? He talked about it. When? In this video? I don't remember him talking about
Uncle
it.
Scrooge was one of my favorite, if not the.
Oh, that one. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, I don't need to know where he lives at all. It's just kind of weird. I remember when I first met my wife, I had seen a picture. We were just dating, and this is what I mean by information just kind of finds its way to me. I remember, first meeting my wife. Obviously, we weren't married when I first met her. And she had added me on Facebook, and I looked through her pictures, and I saw a picture of her child. And her child was standing in front of an apartment building, and I recognized the apartment building. And then I realized, I know where her kids live. Like, just like, man, I didn't want to know that. I didn't want to know that at all. But that was one of those really, where information just kind of finds you and you're like, I don't want to know. Yeah, that was one of those moments.
Uncle Scrooge was one of my favorite, if not the favorite, Disney character as I was growing up. My dad used to buy me the comics, and I think it's an awesome character. It's awesome to teach children about entrepreneurship, money, about loving money actually, and about what truly means to love money. It means you love hard work, and it means you love the capabilities of the human mind. And yeah, my friends, let me know below if you have any questions that you...
I mean, just saying, I'm a pastor, the love of money is usually a bad thing. Just saying. Causes a lot of problems. Especially if your love for money outweighs your love for God. Just saying. As a Christian.
You want me to reply while I wait for my new computer to arrive. You might check some of those videos that I separated for you. They're good.
Alright. Good stuff, good stuff. Think that turned him against we who love him. I'm confused about that. Think that turned him against we who love him. I'm confused about that. It does, the money thing doesn't change the way that I see people. If people are where they're at, there's no judgment. I just know that for me, I can't love money more than I love God. That's just for me. All right. So I got 1 and 1. I got 1 and 1. I got Bring Me to Life, and I got Burn, Butcher, Burn. Any other recommendations? Oh, okay. Good. I was like, I promise I'm not talking about you guys. Let's see. Burn, Butcher, Burn, or Burn, Butcher, Burn, or Bring Me to Life. I'm pretty sure I did Bring Me to Life. I think I did Bring Me to Life. Let's see.
I think so.
Yeah, I did Bring Me to Life. Oh my gosh. Dan was agreeing with me that I did indeed do Bring Me to Life. So now it's Burn, Butcher, Burn. So let's see. Oh gosh. Oh my god. It's like he already knew what I was gonna be saying. Like, oh my gosh, that's funny. That is funny. Oh, that was great. As you guys can tell, I get volume up. Yeah, I don't like listening to the ads, but unless I really have to, and plus I wanted to keep talking and laughing. If you guys haven't figured this out about me, I get entertained very easily. But so with that being said, let's dive in. This is Burn, Butcher, Burn. I have not done this one yet. I'm not loopy. I just like laughing a lot. Yep, I do have church tomorrow. It is 10:49 p.m. I had lots of money and I was unhappy. Now I don't have the money. I found God and more happier. Yes. I am very easily amused. That comes from spending a lot of time in my younger years alone. And I really firmly believe that I went through that so that way I could actually be a happier person. I mean, it's easy to amuse me and jokes are funny. I remember I told this joke the other day to one of my... to one of the guys on the worship team. I go, hey, and I'm going to tell you guys the joke too. So I'm going to give a couple seconds so that way you guys can respond. What do you do when it's cold in your house? What do you guys do when it's cold in your house? Let's see if anybody wants to answer. That's not the answer, but... Some of you may get the joke. Okay, I'm gonna get 10, 9, wear a sweater, 8, dress warmer, 7, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The answer is stand in the corner. It's always 90 degrees there. Oh my gosh. No, I actually enjoy, you know, I go to bed roughly 11:30, 12 o'clock. Service is at 10 o'clock. So I'm not too worried about the timing. Most Saturdays I'm usually up till, like I said, 11:30. So I know the joke was a little bit cringe. I tell a lot of cringe jokes just because it's funny. It's funny. And Katrina, I want to say I'm very happy that you found God. You know, I remember what my life looked like before I started walking with God, and it was a nightmare. I was cussing at everybody. I was pushing people away. I was not okay. You know, and it just, yeah. Say that again. You want me to say the answer again? And then we'll dive into the reaction video. Yeah, so the answer, I'll just say it one more time just so that way, if Katrina didn't hear it, or Karen didn't hear it, then, yeah. So basically, the joke was, what do you do when it's cold in the house? And the answer is, stand in the corner. It's always 90 degrees. It's always 90 degrees in the corner. 90 degrees. All right. With that being said, let's dive into this. And I love that you guys are posting like 1:50 p.m. Yep. 90 degrees can refer to an angle or a temperature. Yep. And that's why I said some of you might not get it, because I know some of you only work based off of Celsius, and 90 degrees, you probably would not be alive anymore. 90 degrees Celsius. But yeah, so let's dive into Burn, Butcher, Burn. Here we go. Ready, set, go. Oh wow, that look.
How disappointing. I
am disappointing. I love it. And his eyes right here, it looks like he's wearing contacts. Because, I mean, you got what looks like red It looks like he's wearing contacts.
You're alive. How disappointing.
Yeah. Let's go.
I also survived. No thanks to you. Did I not give you something, Mr. Wow? Look at me. Now I'll burn all the memories of
Jeez, this is good. I just have to say really quick, his eyes only add to the experience of being blown away. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah. Yeah. He does a lot of those where it's like, he's going like this, and then he just goes away. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
all those lonely miles that you run. Now you walk with no one by your side. Did you ever even care with your swords and your stupid hair? Now watch me laugh as I burn all the memories of you.
Jeez. You know, I almost kind of wonder, like, that line right there, that when you watch all the memories burn, it almost kind of makes me wonder, what is he thinking about when he's singing these lines? Because some of these lines are so impactful, and some of these lines sound, especially with how he performs them, it sounds like there's some stories behind there. I know, like, you know, motivation is a lot behind making music, and some of the stuff that I've written, and I actually recently recorded some stuff, but I won't release it because it's got, you know, well, they're not exactly nice songs. They're not like bad songs, but they're more like from my past, but I needed to get them out, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I wrote some of them, like, you know, 9 or 10 years ago, and yeah, maybe one day I'll release them, but not today. But I always wonder, especially because he has so much power and energy behind his singing, that what does he think about when he sings?
All the memories of you.
Wow. 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 See, it's so action-packed, and to answer your question, Katrina, yeah, it's definitely a song. They're definitely songs of closure. Let me see. Let me see if I've got some of them right here. Some of these aren't, they're not necessarily songs, but let me see if I could find one that I'm okay with sharing. Because some of them, like I said, I wrote these like 9 or 10 years ago. Let me see. Okay. Okay, I'll read this one. Because there is a. Okay, so I wrote this one. That video I sent you playing. Where did you send it? Did you send it to my email? Or did you send it, like... Or was it in a comment? If it was in a comment within the last couple of weeks, I know I still have a long list of things I gotta get to. But, yeah. So I'm gonna read this one here. And I wrote this one before I was even a Christian. And so a lot of this was... I was really angry when I wrote this one. I was angry because I had just been told by the church, and I'm a pastor now, keep this in mind. I had just been told by the church that I didn't belong. I had just been basically told that I needed to go somewhere else, that I was going to hell, and that there was no saving me. I had just been told that, ha ha ha. So, guys, if you guys don't know, Amykins Forever that just posted, that is my wife. My wife is wonderful. My wife is awesome. If you guys didn't know that. If you guys aren't subscribed to her channel, you guys should go subscribe to her channel, because she's a keeper. She's very, very supportive of me. Alright, so I wrote this one, and I'm going to go ahead and read it. I'm a smaller fry than Amy is, and Amy, yeah, I love you, babe. Alright, so with that being said, I'm gonna read this. Not even my wife has heard this one. If the world was a model, would it be so bold? Could this life stand pace, or would it be that race? Would it be like Newton said, survival of the fittest, wealth of the richest, denying the poorest? Oh wait, it's already there. People just don't care. Why can't the world just have a heart? Don't they know that that's the start? Living life filled with greed doesn't allow you to live free. Take every moment to try and shine, 'cause God only knows it might be your last time. If the world was a model, would we have obesity? Would we have sub-cities? What about cultures? Models themselves now act like vultures. Today isn't perfect, you know. Why not drop your guard and let the love grow? What happened to the hippie era? Try it one day. It's cathartic, I dare ya. Free hugs for all, and hugs for all free people. Gay marriage taking place in that church steeple. Freedom for all the ones who can't fight for themselves. And don't forget about the wrongs done to everyone else. Live your life with no regrets, but regret every moment you didn't. Don't have an abortion if you know you don't want a kid. Or if you know you want a kid. Don't be afraid to be who you are. That's what makes you different. You are today's star. Forget what those models think. They're all getting ready. All they're getting told to do is shrink. In their world, nothing is perfect. In yours, the beauty from within will rise to the surface. Don't let it stop you or break you down. Not till you're 6 feet under the ground. You know, I have a stack of poems here, and I chose to share that one because today people are so hateful, and it's just like it takes you less energy to love the person in front of you than it does to hate them. It takes you less energy to smile than it does to frown. And it takes less energy to say, hey, I'm going to hold this door for you, than it does to intentionally close it on somebody else. You know, and it's just, there's too much brokenness and there's not enough support. There's not enough people who are willing to hold that door, literally. And it's heartbreaking because what ends up happening is people turn around and they make a decision like opting out of life. And your guys' lives are just way too important for that. You know? It's incredible. But with that being said, guys, I'm a mushy guy. I get emotional. I share my heart. I pour my heart out. I'm okay with that. You guys are loved. All of you. No matter the circumstance, you're loved. You gotta know that. And, but with that being said, guys, I do have to take off here. It is now 11:06. That's awesome. 11:06. I like that number. But I will see you guys on the next video. Again, I will be posting some other videos coming up here this week. So be on the lookout for those. I'm sorry I haven't responded or haven't posted much this week. Just been dealing with a lot of personal stuff and work stuff and just been slammed. But I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you, and I will see you guys later.